It should include been one of the happiest days of his lifetime. But Jim McCants looks behind on his youngest child's top high school gradation in blended tension. As he sat downward following to his woman Kathleen in the college hall, fair external Dallas, Texas, she rotated to see at him. She told, "Do you sense okay?" Jim recalls. I told, "Yes, I sense penalty, reason. Yours person is amber, yours eyes are amber, you see horrible." While I looked in the glass, it was disgusting. It was disgusting partially since Jim, later 50, had been work on increasing his way of life and loser way, focus on consuming more than beneficently and take routine workout. My dad had a cardiac assault at elderly 59 and he did not do he, says Jim. Down there's a lot how he skipped out on in us and I was established to do which I can to get thoroughness of myself as top I can, so how I dong T Mississippi of. But quickly following his child's gradation, Jim was acknowledged to clinic in a suspected liver disease trauma. Hard to identification the reason of Jim's liver disease trauma, such treat him controlled out alcoholic. To the recent 30-year I drank perhaps a 6-pack of ale a year, no vine. So alcoholic was not a big portion of my lifetime, Jim says. They as well controlled out recipe drugs, he wasn't take any at the period, and smoke, thing he had never made. Later my hepatologist drilled into, which on any above-the-counter supplements, says Jim. As portion of his medium life public health boot, Jim had begun take a Verdant Tea addition since he had heard it might include cardiac benefits. These supplements include grown up in popular in latter year, frequently breathlessly assigned on the internet for their inhibitor benefits, and their imaginary capacity to aid weight losing and hinder carcinoma. I thick felt penalty later, remembers Jim, who lives in Flourish, Polar of Dallas. I was walk or fleeing 30/4/60 protocol, 5 or 6 days a 1 week. He was work as a financial officer but hoped to relearn as a doctor's aide. I was take 2 or 3 classes at a period at nights and at output, he recalls. He had take the Verdant Tea edition for 2 to 3 months while he became bad. On to Jim's care recording the is the alleged reason of his liver disease trauma. It was disgusting since I'd just heard on the benefits, remembers Jim. I'd not heard on any problems. Following his reception to clinic, Jim went in a keeping design, wait for the results of a episode of bloodstream tests to set the severity of his liver disease trauma. Later, on 3 weeks following his woman had at first noted he looked bad, one of his liver disease doctors brought the news story he had been afraid, she told you requirement a liver disease replant. The has to occur quick. You include days, you don't include a 1 week. Jim was dazed. I was thought the looks really dismal for me. It very crystallizes which's essential in lifetime. I wasn't down there thought on projects at job. I was thought of various human beings how were essential to me for various reasons. Which is it on Verdant Tea supplements how might reason damage at specific doses to several human beings. Scientists do not aware for specific. Since Verdant Tea has been drunken for thousands of years, supplements comprising of its concentration shape are controlled in the US and Europe as foods, not medication. How particular security test has not been required, so the research image of how Verdant Tea supplements might influence our public health is unfinished. If you are potable humble amounts of Verdant Tea thou really secure, says Professor Herbert Bonkowski, CEO of Liver Disease Services at Wake Upwood College High School of Medical in Polar, Carolina, who has been monitoring injuries related to Verdant Tea supplements for almost 20 years. This more hazard comes in human beings who are take these more than concentration extracts. Anxiety has concentrated on a potential toxicity component named epigallocatechin 3 gallate or EGCG, the largest plentiful of the natural happening constituent in inhibitor properties in verdant chike, named catechins. Down there are potential to be a quantity of factors how might do in person receptive to damage of EGCG consisting genetic, and the way supplements are utilized. Normally human beings are take these Verdant Tea extracts hard to miss way, so they're frequently not consuming, Dr. Bonkowski explains. We aware of pet teaching how fasted animals consume a lot high percent of the catechins rather than do fat animals. Down there may so be some factors of some drugs, some chemical substances, use of alcoholic how are as well essential as changing factors. Antioxidants are a team of vitamins and some constituent how for lot include undertaken on wonderworking properties, help to driving the world marketplace for supplements of all various, now cost more than rather than £100 bn per year. Antioxidants chamber off complementary radicals, molecules manufactured in our cells as they rotate oxygen supply and meal in power. Fair as oxygen supply and water supply erode ferrous, to lot complementary radicals can harm our cells. In the 1950s, Professor Denham Harmon theorized how complementary radicals hurt the trial by that the flesh ages and could conduct to illness. But several scientists now trust how complementary radicals at specific levels may be advantageous for humane public health, and claim how the orthodoxy type of the recent part age how antioxidants are an unalloyed nice is obsolete. Time millions of human beings get verdant T supplements reliably. At low 80 cases of liver disease trauma related to verdant T supplements include been informed about the planet, range of tiredness and icterus to cases demand liver disease transplants. Such harmed following take verdant T pills include turned on younger generation, love 17-year-old Madeline Papineau of Ontario, Canada who advanced liver disease and renal trauma, and an 81-year-old female undiagnosed intoxicity severe hepatite. The day following Jim was said he necessary a liver disease replant, surprisingly he was said a appropriate liver disease had been found. I was exhilarated. The telephone urge how down there was a matchstick gave me expect how down there would be thing favorable on the some party of the for me, he says. The liver disease replant stored Jim's lifetime. But 4 persons year after he yet has severe public health problems consisting renal illness how may need dialysis treatment and a replant in the next. He sees his liver disease and renal doctors 2 times a year, and lives in persistent belly ache. My lifetime up was cute busy. And now he's lot more than sitting, and I fight in tiredness, he says. He's a terrible bless, as he puts it, how his link enable him to job of household. I may requirement a lie downward for 20 or 30 protocol for the date. I'm capable to fair let my officer aware I'm departure autonomous, I'll be behind. Jim is chasing a litigation versus the US company VitaCost, that sold out the verdant T edition he took. I'm hoping how they do the judgment to put a really powerful precautionary sticker on the food, on the website, let human beings aware up they buy he says. VitaCost did not wish to commentary on the legislative instance, but told, we get the security of our VitaCost mark supplements really severely and stay over the quality assurance of our means. 4 persons year on, Jim reflects on how his lifetime and how of his household modified following he took a verdant T edition. I didn't wait damage. I anticipated how I might waste management my cash, I may get these and they don't do a bit of nice. I can take how hazard, he says. Yet the hazard how it could reason my liver disease to failure, how's a hazard how's too top for someone to get.